Hey, Embrace, welcome. Thanks for joining us online today. My name is Jason. This is Brian, our 57th Street campus pastor.
Hey, everybody, welcome.
Man, today looks a lot different, right? I mean, we usually join physically and filling a bunch of these seats that we're standing right in the middle of right now. But right now, it really is no different in a lot of ways. We're joining together online. We're a community. We're loving Jesus, worshiping him together. And today we're going to have a message, worship, and all sorts of things that we would normally do in this room together. But you might be in your living room or somewhere else.
Yeah, living room, kitchen, who knows? Who knows where you are, but we're glad you're with us.
Someone could be sitting in their boxers right next to you. Which won't happen here, but it's a gift that it happens there.
Yeah,
maybe.
we think there's going to be less distractions for church. There might be more today.
Well, speaking of distractions, kids can be that.
They can be that.
That's a segue into, we've put something online for you and your whole family. If you got little kiddos running around and you're wondering, how do I join this worship service? How do I worship online and not be distracted? Our eKids team has put together a whole lesson, a lesson that we recorded here even, where they can learn about Jesus and have some fun while you're worshiping. So they can go online to imembrace.com. There's a big card on the homepage. You click eKids at home, Church at Home, that giant card there, and kids can watch it while you're worshiping with us.
So they can go put that on a different device.
Yes.
And just the kids can do that in another room.
Yep, lock them in the closet.
It's going to be great. Well, this last week, maybe the last 10 days, they've been so unique. Like, so unique in my lifetime. I think for most of us, this has just been a really different time. But one of the encouraging things for me has been seeing people still care for people, still seeing people do good things for others. One of our Sertoma attenders, she's a teacher, and she started posting online just lessons for families to do with their kids. Whoa. Because the kids were, climbing the walls probably. Yeah. So just such a practical way to care for people and just do a really good thing. One of the things that I saw online, this was more of a national story. Maybe you saw it. A son was trying to stay connected to his mom. She lives in a senior care facility. No longer can they accept visitors. So what he did, he grabbed his guitar, grabbed a speaker, set it up on the sidewalk, and did a concert for the whole care facility. They opened the windows. I'm not one for stealing ideas, but I think I'm going to do that. So my neighbors this week, get ready.
That's the one you're going to steal.
Yeah, that's the idea. I'm still going to do it. I'm tone deaf, but it's going to be great. We're super excited about that. But it's been fun to see people share those ideas on how to care for people, how to do good. And so we'd also love to see what you're doing. Are you doing something in your neighborhood? Are you doing something for your neighbors, your friends? Share with us. Also, where you're watching the service today. What does that look like for you? Go to hashtag.
Hashtag. Use the hashtag. Don't go to a website.
Don't go to a website. Use the hashtag I'mEmbrace and share with us how are you taking this service in today.
That's really good, Brian. I hope you don't share yours online, but I hope everyone else does. Use the hashtag I'mEmbrace, and just like the stories Brian shared, your story can be an encouragement to others even today. So hey, we're about to jump into worship. Thanks again for joining us. We're going to have a great time.
See you guys.
Well, hey, Embrace, we're so glad you decided to join us online today. Wherever you find yourself, whether in your living room, in your bedroom, wherever you find yourself, would you join us as we sing these truths out today? So let's sing this together. I'll raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies. I'll raise a hallelujah louder than the unbelief. I'll raise a hallelujah. My weapon is a melody. I'll raise a hallelujah. feel today, whether anxious or afraid, we're going to sing a song of praise that's going to change our hearts today to focus on Him. Let's sing this out. We sing a little louder.
Sing a little louder.
Yes, we do. We sing a little louder.
Sing a little louder.
I sing a little louder.
Sing a little louder.
I sing a little louder.
Sing a little louder.
Oh, yes, we do. We sing a little louder.
In the presence of my enemy.
I sing a little louder.
Louder than the unbelief.
I sing a little louder.
My weapon is a melody.
I sing a little louder. Come on, the melody is a weapon.
Fight for me.
I sing a little louder.
In the presence of my enemy.
I sing a little louder.
Louder than the unbelief.
I sing a little louder.
My weapon is a melody.
I sing a little louder.
Heaven comes to fight for me.
We sing a little louder.
And I'm gonna sing
In the middle of the storm.
louder and louder. You're gonna hear my praises roar. Up from the ashes, hope will arise. Death is defeated, the King is alive. I'm gonna sing in the middle of the storm. Louder and louder, you're gonna hear my praises roar. Up from the ashes, hope will arise. Death is defeated, the King is alive.
Come on, let's sing this simple praise today. I raise a hallelujah. Yes, sir. I raise a hallelujah. And I raise a hallelujah. One last time. I raise a hallelujah.
Well, hey everyone, welcome to Embrace. We're so glad that you're here. We hope you're doing so very well today. Welcome to another very special online only service. If I've not met you before, my name is Travis. I get to be our campus pastor for our Sertoma campus. But online services, they're pretty great for a couple of reasons. One, they're really great if you don't like crowds. And two, they're really good if you're super into following CDC guidelines, which is probably why we're doing it. We actually really love crowds here, but we're pretty into health and safety too. So we're glad that you could join us online. If you're hopping on and joining us for one of the first few times, I just want to extend a special welcome to you. Thanks for coming to hang out with us today. I'm hoping and praying that this service is exactly what you need today. And if you're not joining us for one of the first few times, I just want to say on behalf of our campuses, our pastors, our staff, from the bottom of our heart, we just miss you. We just miss you guys, and we love you, and we wish that we could be in person with you, but we're going to make the best of what we have here, and we are thankful for technology and different ways to connect, and we've been doing that all week. We've been trying to get creative with different ways to stay connected, so I just want to let you know about a couple of the different things that we've been doing to stay connected this week. The first thing that we did was actually on Wednesday night, we did our first online-only youth service, which was absolutely incredible and crazy all at the same time, but my favorite thing about the youth service was after the service was over, hundreds of kids got to connect in their small groups using Zoom meetings, so that was wonderful. Something that we started on Thursday over the lunch hour was a worship and prayer time. Thousands of people were able to come and check that out, which was wonderful. On Thursday night, we did a family large group, an interactive online large group called Nice to Meet You, where we had thousands of views even to that as well. So we're just really hoping and praying that God continues to use Embrace. We know that He is. And one thing that's really special this morning actually is we have our first interactive eKids service. So if you have a child at home, you can just go to I'mEmbrace.com, and there's a link right there to our eKids service that they can check that out anytime that is convenient. But again, like I mentioned, man, our mission, like never before, is reaching the next person for Jesus. And thankfully, God is continuing to use us even in these different times. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to be a part of that. One of the ways to do that is by giving financially. And you can give at I'mEmbrace.com/give. Like no other time in history, at least for me, have I felt like I had less control. But like no other time before, have I been able to trust God and know that He is in complete control. And giving is one of the best ways that we can do that and show God that we trust Him and that we believe that He's in control for our good. So again, you can do that at I'mEmbrace.com/give. But we're going to hop back into worship, back into singing together at this time. And you don't have to stand or anything. You don't even need to sing along. You can continue to make breakfast or drive around or do whatever you need to do. But I will challenge you that if you do press in today, if you do try to meet God this morning, I promise that He is ready to meet you as well. And we have an opportunity to get to do that all day today. So if you would, please join us in worshiping.
Prosper when the darkness falls, it won't prevail. 'Cause the God I serve knows only how to triumph. My God will never fail. Oh, my God will never fail. 'Cause I'm gonna see a victory. See a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. Oh, oh, oh. Sing this over your families. There's power. There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. Every war you wage, you see will win. Oh, I'm not backing down from any giant. I know how the story ends. Oh yes, I know the story ends. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. Oh. Whatever's standing in our way this morning, come on, let's worship our way through it. Come on, you take it. You take the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. When we believe that, you take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for my good. You turn it for my good. Come on, with confidence now. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn
know that God can move no matter where we find ourselves today. Against anxiety and fear and depression, He is a God where we can meet Him today. So we've seen Him move mountains in the past, and we're going to see Him move mountains in the future. So would you join us wherever you find yourself? Let's declare this truth out today. I've seen you move. You move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way where there is no way, and I believe I've seen you do it again. I've seen you move, yeah. You move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way where there is no way, and I believe I'll see you. Come on, let's sing. I see you move. You move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way where there is no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I'll see you do it again. We see you do it again. I'll see you do it again. I'll see you do it again. Oh, we see you again.
Well, hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Adam. I'm one of the pastors here, and I'm personally so glad that you decided to come and worship with us here today. I hope this finds you well, and when I say that, I truly hope this finds you well. I hope you're not climbing the walls too much. Hope the kids aren't driving you certifiably insane yet either. Again, we're excited that you're here. These are obviously the strangest, craziest, most bizarre days ever, and yet in times like this, there are some good things that happen as well. People come together, people serve one another, people look to love one another, and also people post some of the most amazing things and memes online ever as well. And so folks, sometimes you need to laugh so you don't cry, and so this week I decided to go looking for some memes and some posts around toilet paper. I still don't know why we have a shortage of toilet paper, but we do. And so check out a few of the posts that I found. I thought they were fantastic. This first one says, due to toilet paper shortage, use litter box until further notice. Please bury it. I thought that was good. Another one that I loved right now, toilet paper is so expensive, but if you want to find a deal, maybe look into this one. It says toilet paper, $3,999, but free 1 carat diamond ring with purchase. And so there's that. That's a good deal if you're looking. This one as well, and to think I almost threw away the unmatched socks. If you have your unmatched socks, go search the bottom of your closets, get that. This last one is by far my favorite though. In times like this, you need to take drastic measures, and this older couple has decided to plant toilet paper in their garden. It is springtime, it is planting season, and so maybe something to consider there. I thought that was awesome. Today though, we're gonna start a new series called Scattered. And I'm praying this series will meet us in this place, in this time. I'm praying that God will just come and connect with us today and also next week as well during this strange season that we're in. And a quick side note, if you would right now, I'd just encourage you to take a moment and share this. Share this on your Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. I've just been praying, not just at Embrace, but I've been praying that during this crazy season, that God would open the hearts of a whole bunch of people and that many people would come to trust Jesus, maybe for the first time. And so I just encourage you right now, if you would, I did it myself right before the service. I just encourage you to share this. But to start this series off, we're going to look today at the words of a man named Peter. And just to share about Peter, Peter was a fisherman when he met Jesus. And when he started following Jesus, he wanted to be the best follower of Jesus there was. He even said, I want to be the greatest, basically. He's like, how do I be the greatest? That's what I want to be. Unfortunately, though, for Peter, Peter, Peter was very human. And when it mattered the most, when Jesus got arrested, Peter denied even knowing Jesus 3 times. Thankfully, Jesus wasn't done with him. And after being raised from the dead, even though Peter had denied him, even though Peter was so imperfect, Jesus made it clear to Peter that he still loved him. He made it clear that God wanted to use Peter to spread the name of Jesus like few people would in all of history. And this brings us to a letter that Peter wrote. It's a letter that we know as 1 Peter. And Peter is writing this letter to encourage a group of Christians who are being persecuted for their faith. That their lives are on the line, not because of a virus of some kind, but because they're choosing to follow Jesus. Crazy, right? And starting off this letter, just listen to how Peter starts off this letter. Here is what Peter says. This letter is from Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ. I am writing to God's chosen people who are scattered throughout the region. Again, Peter, this imperfect man, is writing this letter to a group of people who are what? They're scattered. They're scattered. They're scattered and being persecuted, and yet Peter has a message of encouragement that he wants to get to them. He has a message of encouragement that the people desperately need to hear, and so he's writing this letter to them. Now, we are in a completely different situation. We're not being persecuted at all, right? And yet, when I read this word, scattered, it just felt like a word that was written directly to all of us. When I read this word, it just felt like a word that God was speaking to us. It just felt like we're scattered, all of us, you and I, we're scattered, and we need a message. We're scattered, and we need a message. Just like the people getting Peter's letter, yet for a completely different reason during this time of complete uncertainty and social distancing, it's easy to feel scattered, isn't it? Even just physically today, we are scattered all over the place. This week, I was just thinking about all the reasons that I love this church, and almost all those reasons are people. I just think about all the people. When I'm at the St. Croix campus, there's Pete, and he's sitting on his scooter in the entryway, greeting people and handing out handshakes. At T, Rick is always in the sound booth, just jamming away, just moving his head, raising his arms up in the air. At Sertoma, there's Josh. Him and his family have attended Embrace since the very, very beginning. He's a quiet man. Oftentimes, I'll see him in the back of the sanctuary. They're just there, and I always love just coming up and saying hello to him. At 57th Street, we got Will in the very front row. He's tall. He's this large man with these huge hands, and he's worshiping and he's saying amen the entire message. There's nobody better to have in the front row than Will. Well, today, none of these people are there. None of them. We're scattered physically, but even more so, we're also emotionally and spiritually scattered. Things that were completely certain just a few days ago. Just think about that. Our job, finances, good health, your schedule, our economy. Our economy a few weeks back, the best it's ever been. Now it all feels so completely uncertain. And some of us more than others. Some of us, it's affected our schedule, but to others of us, it's turned our world completely upside down, and we feel so uncertain and we are scattered. And yet, just like Peter, today I have a message of encouragement that I want to share with all of you. I have a message. And more than me, I truly believe that God, not just me, God has a message of encouragement that he wants to share with us today. Not just you, but also myself. Why? Because so many of us, we are scattered and we need a message. And so again, Peter starts out this letter addressing these people who are scattered. And then listen to what Peter says next. He says, now we live with great expectation, and we have a priceless inheritance, an inheritance that is kept in heaven for you, pure and undefiled, beyond the reach of change and decay. I love that. And through your faith, God is protecting you by his power until you receive this salvation, which is ready to be revealed on the last day for all to see. Peter's telling them, I know you're scattered and things feel so uncertain for you, but we live with great expectation. Why? Because of Jesus and who he is. We live with great expectation because who he is, who God is, and what he offers us, it can't be touched and it does not change. For all of us here today, if there was one thing I want us to remember, it would be this. One promise from Peter, it's just this. The world might crumble, but it can't touch this. Again, if you forget everything else, the world might crumble, but it can't touch this. MC Hammer, right? I feel like I should do the dance right now, but it can't touch Jesus. The world might crumble, it can't touch Jesus and all that he promises, all that he offers us, all that he brings into us. I mean, honestly, the world around us might crumble. Our savings account, maybe your savings account, as we speak, it feels like it's crumbling. Our retirement, our job, our career, it might crumble. Our health, the dreams that we had for 2020, for this year, it all might crumble. Maybe you're in sales right now and you can't do any sales. You can't sell anything. You had a vacation plan like my in-laws did, and you're like, is that gonna happen? You're graduating this year and you're wondering, like, am I gonna have a graduation party? Like, the world around us, it might crumble. It might. Just to share for myself, last Sunday night I had my kind of anxious freak out moment, just being honest. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. Yeah, I've been anxious for my parents the last few weeks, but not for myself. But for whatever reason, when the CDC said it was gonna be 8 more weeks of not having gathered more than 50 people at one time, it just felt really real. And now it's even more restricted, but it just on Sunday night, for some reason, it just felt really, really real. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but after hearing the news story in my Twitter feed, Beck and I, we ended up going to the grocery store at 9 o'clock at night last Sunday. We did. And we didn't hoard things, but we made sure we had enough. Enough milk, enough bread, enough Fruity Pebbles, because I love them. We've already ran out of Fruity Pebbles. Enough toilet paper. We had to stop at 6 different places to find toilet paper. We filled both of our vehicles with gas. Like never before, it feels possible that the world might actually crumble. And these things are real and they're scary right now. But just to say it though, God has something just as specific and just as real that can't be touched. I mean, right now we're scared and we're worried, but did you hear what Peter said? We can live with great expectation. Again, the people getting his letter are being persecuted. Their lives are on the line, not because of a virus, but because of a personal decision to follow Jesus. I'm worried about what I can buy right now. Peter tells us that what God has is priceless. I'm worried about what might happen. Peter, he tells us to look forward with excitement about how God is going to show up during this time. I mean, I just want to remind us about who God is. If you've forgotten, I know for myself, I'm so quick to forget. We have a God who loves to take care of us. We have a God who's all powerful. We have a God who is good. We have a God who's trustworthy. We have a God who loves us even when we doubt him, even when we question him, even when we worry. He still loves us. We have a God who is forever faithful. Just looking back at your life, how has God shown up and provided for you? I mean, really, just think about it. How's he come through for you? Just think about that trial that you never thought you'd make it through. Your divorce, losing your dad, that addiction, that affair. And now you didn't just make it through, now you're thriving. Now you're living again. And just think about how you never thought you'd meet someone. You never thought you'd ever be able to have kids. And now just look at your family. And that time financially, when it felt like things were over, it just felt like everything was over. For me personally, I think about my parents' bankruptcy that they went through when I was in high school. And I think about when I was getting my master's. Beck and I had absolutely nothing. When we had our first son, we had to get government assistance for a few months because we couldn't afford bread and milk. And yet we were never, ever without. Every single day, God provided. And honestly, even all these things can crumble, but what can't be touched is Jesus. Even if the world does crumble, we can live with great expectation because of Jesus. What he brings us, it can't be touched. A peace that surpasses all understanding, it can't be touched. Him rescuing us from our past, from our mistakes, from our blunders, from our sin, it can't be touched. Him making us brand new after we felt so broken and used, it can't be touched. His love that endures forever, it can't be touched. The promise of heaven, it cannot be touched. What truly matters the most in life, the world might crumble, but it can't touch this. It can't. Going back to Peter's words, listen to what Peter writes next. Listen to this. He says, so be truly glad. Again, the people reading this letter are being killed. Be truly glad. There is wonderful joy ahead, even though you must endure many trials for a little while. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. Peter tells them, I know you're scared. And I know it might feel like the world around you is crumbling, but we can have joy. He even says, be glad. Why? Because during this trial, just like fire testing gold, it might be hard and it might even hurt, but we need fire. We need fire to make pure gold. It might be hard and it might even hurt, but we need fire to make pure gold. You've maybe heard this before, maybe you haven't, but how gold is made pure is it's heated. It's heated by a fire, and when it is, the impurities rise to the surface. It's heated by fire, and when it does, the crud and the gold, it rises to the surface, and it's skimmed off, making the gold pure. And this process is done over and over again. It's heated by fire, the impurities and crud, it comes to the surface over and over again. Again, we need fire to make pure gold. Just to say it during this strange time, during this uncertain season that we're in, maybe your control freakness is it just rising to the surface within you. It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to control everything. Maybe it's becoming really, really clear that you've been putting your trust in your job and your money. And during this season, it's just kind of coming to the surface. Maybe it's becoming clear that you say you love Jesus, but you love a bunch of other things a whole lot more. And it's just kind of coming to the surface. Maybe during this time, you're having hard conversations that you've been putting off for a long time, and they're just coming to the surface. Maybe it's fear. You're like, I love Jesus, and yet fear and anger and worry is rising to the surface, and God is using it to refine us. As this crud comes to the surface, as our control freakness, as our fear, as our anger comes, God is just skimming it off. I mean, for all of us, God can use it all, even what we're walking through right now, to test and refine us, to test and refine who we are, to test and refine our character, our priority, our family, our focus, to test and refine our schedules. Anyone else during this time realize how much crap you have in your schedules? God is just using this time to test and refine us, to test and refine our walk with Jesus. God didn't cause what we're walking through, but he definitely can use it to test and refine us, to make us stronger, to make us better, to make us more and more like Jesus. One more time, we need fire. We need fire to make pure gold. Might hurt, might be uncomfortable, but we need fire to make pure gold. This past Monday afternoon, with everything going on, we called our team together. We normally meet on Tuesdays, but we called our team together on Monday afternoon just to talk, and we talked about how we need to get creative as a church. And I have to say, I'm so excited about some of the things we're doing, and so many other churches are doing as well. We're not the only ones doing this, but just trying to get creative in ways to continue encouraging people, to continue reaching the next person for Jesus. And I'm so excited. I'm so proud of our team. And we also challenged our team during this time to serve. We talked about it last week, coronahelpsf.com. We told all of our staff to sign up and go and serve, that they can serve and use staff hours to do so. And so I want to encourage you to go and do that. The need is only going to continue to rise. Again, coronahelpsf.com. If you live locally, go do that. If you live up by our St. Croix campus, look for ways that you can help, look for ways that you can give, look for ways that you can serve. And so we talked about all those things, and then we began to talk about our church's finances and the plan that we have. And we shared with our team that we're at a good place as a church. One of the best places we've ever been coming into the season, but depending on how long all of this lasts, we want to be prepared. And away from our run projects and helping with the corona response, we've stopped all other non-essential spending. And we're looking for ways, we told our team this, we're looking for ways to reduce spending even more than we're doing right now. And so Monday, we talked about our plan, and I'll just say it, the room was heavy. We started talking, and the room just got really, really quiet. Again, it just felt like one of those real moments, like this is real, right? Just to share, I know we've mentioned the offering already. If Embrace is your home, if you're a follower of Jesus, I want to encourage you to give and really faithfully give. If you're able to do so, faithfully and consistently give. Right now, God is doing so many amazing things. We're continuing to look for more ways that we can minister to people, more ways that we can reach people, more ways that we can serve people, but not even just for the church. I want to encourage you to give for yourself. This is just a practical, powerful step of just saying, God, I want to trust you in all ways. And so go and give. But again, on Monday, we shared some of the financial plans with our team, and the room was heavy. And when we just opened it up to our entire team, we just said, what are you guys all feeling? Like, how are you doing with all this stuff? All these uncertainties, what we just shared with all of you, like how are you doing with all of this? And I just want to share what three of our staff team shared at the staff meeting. It was awesome. Kimberly from T. She said, it's obviously been hard going through this. But she shared, honestly, our family, I'm just beginning to realize during this time, our family never eats supper together. Like looking back over the past months, looking back at this past year, we never eat together anymore. Like as a family, we are never at the table all at once. There's sports and activities and events, and we just never eat a meal together. And then she said, I have a senior in high school this year, and I'm not gonna have much longer with him. And so yes, it's a hard time, but this past week, we've gotten to eat meals together every single night. And this time has just brought this to the surface. And again, this horrible season is being used for good. And Jacob from our Sertoma campus, he pulled out his phone. I thought this was awesome. And he said, since this all started, I've just been keeping track of all the good things that God is doing. I've just been keeping track of all the awesome God things that are happening. I've created this list on my phone. And I just want to read off some of what Jacob had on his list. Jacob wrote, local hospitals are offering childcare sign up for people who need babysitters. Local churches are coming together to help our cities really for the first time in a long time. Disney released Frozen 2 earlier than expected. My grandma brought Frozen 2 for my daughter. Lord, help us. Beachbody offered 10,000 free memberships. Local schools are continuing to give out free lunches even though there is no school. Local businesses are giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars to help other local businesses. Local power companies are offering to help people pay their bills or push off their bills. The T, last night in T, there was a cruise night. Becky and I, we went out there. It was just a cruise around T. It was one of the coolest things that I've ever been a part of. And Jacob just shared, these are all kinds of crazy, awesome things that are happening during this time of uncertainty. And so Jacob shared, and then Holly, our executive pastor, shared. She shared a post that she had seen online, and I just want to read this post and what it said. I thought it was powerful. It says, in World War II, everyone in Great Britain was hunkered down in fear of the bombings from Germany. During that time, C.S. Lewis began a radio broadcast. That broadcast became the book Mere Christianity, one of the greatest books of all time. Isaac Newton was 20 years old during the bubonic plague hit, forcing people into their version of social distancing. During his year away from Cambridge, he created the theory of gravity. The Apostle Paul, under house arrest, wrote most of the New Testament. The post ended by saying, I'm not so sure God causes these things, but I know he won't waste it. Powerful, right? Again, God didn't cause these things. God didn't cause these things, but I know he won't waste it. One more time, we're scattered and we need a message. The world might crumble, but it can't touch this. We need fire to make pure gold. Today, I want to close by saying that earlier when we talked about the fire and this time bringing things to the surface, maybe one of the things that came to the surface inside of you is your need for God. Maybe you'd consider yourself a follower of Jesus, but during this time, again, your control freakness has just come to the surface. Maybe you're a person who's saying, I'm quick to love Jesus, but during this time, you're trying to control and you're worrying about every single aspect of your life. Maybe you're like, yeah, I'm a Christian, but it's kind of being revealed that, gosh, you don't really rely on God. You're not really walking with him moment to moment. Or maybe for you, your entire life, you've kept yourself so distracted with work and your schedule and your priorities and your agenda and money that it's taken your world being turned upside down for you to consider Jesus. It's taken this time of feeling like everything around you is crumbling to kind of just say in your soul, like, I just want to hear a little bit more about God. Like, I did church as a kid. I kind of went there a couple of times with my grandparents. I've never been there before, but I'm feeling really unsteady. I'm feeling really uncertain, and I just want to hear a little bit more about what God has to say. If that's you, just by the way, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's never too late. I don't care how old you are. It's never too late. I don't care what you've been through. It's never too late to say, Jesus, I just want you. And so if any of this applies to you, again, you've been following Jesus for years, but you're just realizing just how unsteady you are in your walk with him, or you've never followed him, but you're just like, I want to hear more. The most simple, important thing we can pray, the most powerful words we can speak to God is Jesus, I want to follow you. Today, I want to follow you. Jesus, I want to know more about you. I want to fall in love with you. I want you, more of you in my life. Would you come and would you fill me? I just want to follow you, God, because everything feels like it's crumbling. Maybe it's just speaking the words, God, I feel scattered and I need your message. Jesus, it just feels like everything around me is crumbling and I want what can't be touched. I want to live with great expectation during this time. I want whatever you're talking about that doesn't decay or crumble. I want that, God. God, and during this time, would you use this time to test and refine my love for you, the person that I am? Would you help me to become more and more like you? Again, today, if you're just like, that's me, just speak the words, Jesus, I want to follow you. I want to follow you. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm fearful. I'm angry. I want to follow you. I want more of you today. Let's pray. Gracious Father, Heavenly King, we come before you thankful. Thankful that in these times of uncertainty, in these bizarre times that you come and you speak a word that feels like it's spoken directly to us. I know when I read that word scattered, it was just like something jumped within me. God, we're scattered physically, emotionally, spiritually. And yet everything that we have in you, it can't be touched. It can't be touched. And even though you didn't cause this, God, you're able to use it. You will not waste it. And we need fire to make pure gold. And so God, I ask that you'd use us. Even right now, I ask you'd bring some things to the surface that are not you. Selfishness and worry and fear and control freakness. I just ask you'd bring it to the surface. And even right now, would you just remove it from us, God? And would you just make us more and more like you? Jesus, from this day forward, we want to follow you. If we're new to you, God, if we've never followed you before, God, would you just help us to maybe open up the Bible, maybe start in the Psalms and just read your promises, read your truth. We're so thankful it's never too late to come to you, that nothing changes your love. We pray all this in your name. Amen.
Well, we hope that you guys were encouraged by Adam's message today and the worship overall. And for me, one of the things that just jumped out to me was that the world can't touch this. The world can't touch our faith. The world can't touch certain things as we are followers of Jesus. If you're a follower of Jesus today, the world can't touch the hope that you have in your salvation. If you're a follower of Jesus today, the world can't touch, and your circumstances can't touch the peace that we have from God. And if today you're searching, maybe you're not there yet, maybe you're still kind of deciding, boy, who is this Jesus guy? What does he have to offer? We would love it for you to go and download the YouVersion Bible app and just dig in. Open up the Word, see what God has to say to you, and know that there's something more there for you. And we don't have distractions like we did. Like there's no distractions left in the world, it seems. And so connect, lean in, see what God has to say to you today.
That's awesome, Brian. What an awesome service. I'm so thankful again that we can just come together online and worship together wherever we're at.
Yeah.
Such a gift. Be sure to, if you took any pictures or have special moments you want to share online that might encourage others, use hashtag #IamEmbrace and post it all over your socials. We would love to see those and see some encouraging good news spread. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great day and a great rest of the week.
See you guys.